You're watching News 24 Live. In August, the Department of Basic Education announced that Mandarin will be introduced into South African schools from 2016. The Western Cape Education Department has had a number of concerns around this announcement, namely that a pilot project hasn't been implemented. To discuss this topic further, we joined in studio this morning by Jessica Shelver, the spokesperson for the Western Cape Education MEC. Jess, thanks very much for coming in.
Thanks for having me, Nick.
When this announcement was first made in August, what were your guys' thoughts?
Well, I think, Nick, to announce any huge project, you need to run a pilot before any whole-scale implementation can take place. There hasn't been any pilot program in the implementation of Mandarin in any of our schools. In the Western Cape, there are 13 learners across 7 schools that currently take Mandarin as a subject. So while we agree that Mandarin is the language of one of the major economic powerhouses in the world, and we do have quite a large Chinese population, there just hasn't been an uptake in the number of learners enough to warrant implementing this throughout our schools. There are a number of questions that DBE have failed to answer on. I think the biggest question that is faced is, where is the budget going to come from? Is there budget to cover the whole-scale implementation of Mandarin in schools? Will this budget cover teaching posts? Are there enough trained teachers to fill these teaching posts? Are there subject advisors that can advise teachers, learners, and provide support? Is there learner training and support material available for learners wishing to take Mandarin? I think before you can announce any big rollout of anything, there has to be a pilot program that provincial departments can use as a point of departure going forward.
So, I mean, as you mentioned, you know, we obviously have a huge trading relationship with China. So this is a hope at extending that into sort of areas of mutual development. I mean, we can't really fault that, can we? Or
no, and I agree. I mean, there are other many international languages that are taught in our schools, but currently the WCD, and I can speak for us as a provincial department, we currently are facing severe budget constraints. We simply cannot afford to employ additional teachers to teach Mandarin. If a school wishes to teach Mandarin, they are more than welcome to. It will be an SGB post, and the school will have to fund it themselves. So while we don't disagree with the fact that international languages should be taught in schools, as I say, Mandarin is the language of an economic powerhouse, and it could be beneficial long term. This is why you run pilot programs, so that you can see the effects, you can see where there would be challenges and how to address those challenges before running the program, you know, throughout the entire country.
So, I mean, above budget, I mean, what about training and support, you know, subject advisors? I mean, those are huge concerns, surely.
Absolutely, and these are all questions that the Department of Basic Education and National Treasury have to answer. We most certainly will not roll Mandarin out whole scale until there has been a pilot program that we can use as a point of departure, and until our questions on whether budget will be provided, whether teachers will be provided, whether there are teachers that can teach Mandarin in schools. And we just have to consider these things before you can roll something out at this kind of scale across the country.
Because I'd imagine it is a very difficult language to learn as well.
It is an extremely difficult language. Absolutely. I mean, not only do you have another language to learn, you've got to read and write in a completely different format to English and you know, the current alphabet that we're used to. I studied French at school, but I still can't speak a word of French. It doesn't mean that if you take a language at school that you will be able to use it. So they need to do more research and provide better plans for provinces to use as a point of departure.